Lori with Cake a Difference. And first I want to thank Middletown Free Library for putting together this awesome experience for all of us who are staying at home but looking to maybe learn some new things. So thank you, Middletown Free Library. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make these two cakes. And both of these cakes can be made with things you just have regularly at your house. You can see here, these are the items that you're going to need in order to create these two cakes. But to get started, I want to first teach you how to assemble your cake so that you are able to actually create those effects. Okay, so I have a butter knife. I'm just going to lightly spread it around the top of the cake. You need 3 layers for the rainbow cake. You'll see why, because we're going to be using red, orange, yellow, green, blue. Don't forget there's 6 colors. We'll be using 6 colors to go up the side of the cake. So if you only had 2 layers, it wouldn't be enough room to do your 6 colors. So I chose these cakes because I thought we could all use a little bit of brightness and happiness, and because a lot of us right now have kids that are missing birthday celebrations. You know, I've seen a lot of people doing the drive-bys, you know, where you honk and wish each other happy birthday and the Zoom happy birthdays, but there's still something about having a special cake on your birthday that I think is really important for a kid. So hopefully, if you have a special birthday coming up, you could try one of these cakes to make that little one happy in your life. Okay, so you see I'm using a turntable. If you don't have one, you just will sort of move your cake, spin your cake around as you're going. And that is looking crumb coated. Yeah. Fortunately, we're doing the video ahead of time, so you don't have to sit here and wait, but this needs to go in the refrigerator for like 15, 20 minutes to let it sort of set up. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now, and we'll be back. All right, now is the part where we get to find out just how type A you are. When I'm doing this cake for my bakery, I'm pretty type A, but if I'm just doing it for a friend or family, I don't do this step, so you can choose. You don't have to do it, but you can take a skewer. I'm using a coffee stirrer, and the first thing you're gonna wanna do is, once your cake has come out of the fridge from setting up, is you're going to do a straight line into the crumb coat, just a light pressing. I'm not sure if you can see that from here, but there is a light line. And then I come over, if I'm in a really type A mood that day, I actually will measure how far each line is, but you could sort of eyeball it. Come over about an inch or so and do the same thing, and you'll continue that all around the cake. So you want to just make sure that you're putting the skewer, whatever you're using, flat against the base, so that way it's going to be a perfectly straight line. Okay, so here's the fun part. Okay, so we're going to start with red so that we're being scientifically correct with our rainbow cake. And you're going to hold the bag in your hand, sort of pinching the top so it stays closed with your thumb and forefinger. And if you notice, I put the turntable up on top of something else so it's higher. It just makes it easier instead of having to bend down. So you're going to start at the bottom, and you're just going to squeeze. I'm going to turn it this way, and then I'll turn it back around. You're just going to squeeze a dot. So you just squeeze a little bit and then release. I'll try and do it from this angle so that you can see. Okay, again, holding it, squeeze a dot and release. That's it. You're just gonna do that with each color straight up the line. That's why I like to use the line so that I don't start to go off to the side. Red, orange, yellow. Every time I do this cake, I think of, there's a Mickey Mouse song from Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. I can't help but sing it as I do the cake. Get your blue on there. There we go, that's better. And finish up with purple. All right, that's it. So once you have your first row of dots on your cake, you'll use your, if you have one, offset spatula. I have 2 different sizes. You wanna make sure you're using the smaller one. Or again, you could just use a spoon. So I will show you with both. So all you're going to do is you're going to just take the dot, start from the bottom, press your spatula or spoon onto there, lightly pull in this direction. Now, here's the part that gets a little tiring, but you have to, in between each one, wash your spatula because you don't want to mix the colors in with each other. So you just wipe it off. And then you're just gonna keep going straight up the cake, doing that. Pull, wipe, pull, wipe, and that's it. I wish I could tell you that it was super tricky cake, but this is it. That's all you do. Just pull, press, and pull. And there's my first row. Now, in order to get that effect where it's sort of on a diagonal, we are going to alternate the colors. So now I will actually start at the bottom with orange, and I will end with red. So I take the orange, and right around where the schmear sort of ends, like right before it ends though, not at the end, a little bit before it is where I'm going to place my next dot. So I do orange, and that's why another reason why I like to use it this way, so you don't lose track of the order. You just keep going to the next one. Am I going straight up my line? I think I am. Okay. And blue, and purple, and then, who knows it, what color is gonna go at the top?
Red.
Yeah, red's gonna come up top. So there we go. And then right back at it. We're going to, this time I'll use my spoon to show you it is possible with a spoon. You'll take it and you're going to press and pull. Press, pull. Press, pull. And I'm doing a similar cake with my bakery for Mother's Day. It's the same style, the same press and pull method. And so I had my husband and son test it out to see, like, is this really possible, or do I just think it's easy because I own a bakery? And they were able to do it, and it looked really great. So I do think you're gonna have a lot of fun with this cake. So I'm just gonna go ahead and finish doing that because that's it. You're gonna go all the way around, and then when we get to the last one, I will show you in greater detail how to finish it off. So here I go. All right, so like I promised, we're back. And you can see that we have gone almost all the way around, and there's just this last bit. So you're going to go ahead and put your dots on just like before. Paper towel. This project's tough with everybody being short on paper towels. You might want to use a regular kitchen towel, maybe a couple. Yeah, we'll just do a little smear. Okay. So you'll just sort of fill in the space. You're gonna have to just play around with this depending on how yours ends. But again, you can't really do it wrong, just different. Okay, so pull, squeeze and pull, purple, and our last one is red. Squeeze and pull, okay. So now you're going to, I'm gonna use the spoon, so it'll be just like how you're doing at home. You're just going to do like a little pull, and then stop. And then a little pull and stop. How's that come? Yeah, not right now. Okay. And a little pull. Okay. So that is the outside of the cake. You did it. Now, if I was doing this regularly to finish the rainbow cake, all you're going to do is the same thing. You're going to do dots, but around in a circle. Finish this cake if you wanted to do the top the same as the sides, like in the picture. You're going to place one dot of the same color, and now instead of pulling, now you're gonna be pulling like in a circle. So you'll pull, and you'll do one at a time, as opposed to the row, you'll do one at a time. So that's your rainbow cake. All right. Now I'm about to do something that might hurt some of you, so brace yourselves. I know it actually hurts me a little bit every time I do it. You could have done is you could have gone around the cake with all the dots like I did, not the pulls, just the dots. And then you're gonna do this. You'll take, I have this large offset spatula. You could use a large knife would work. Any straight edge in your kitchen that will go from the base of the cake to the top of the cake. You're gonna place, this hurts me a little bit doing it. You're going to place your spatula at the base of the cake, straight up. And if you have a turntable, you'll be turning the turntable. If you don't, you'll just move your hand. And we are just going to smear all this around to make it, give it like a tie-dye effect. So I'm gonna do it. It does hurt a little bit doing it. It's so pretty. Okay, here we go. Should I take it? And you're just going to gently, you're gonna be really gentle as you pull it. Remember, if you don't have a turntable, you'll just have to move your hand instead of moving the table. Yeah, there we go. So you're just pulling it around and it gives it sort of like that rainbowy tie-dye effect. See, it's not, you're forgiving me now for ruining that pretty cake, right? It's still cool, there it goes. And a trick I have, if you really want to get it super smooth, like those air bubbles drive me crazy, you can actually dip it in really, really hot water. I'd have to heat this up more. And dry it off, and then it actually helps to smooth it out. But I'm not gonna be type A right now. I'm going to just relax and let it go. Anyway, so that's your tie-dye effect on the sides. Okay, so to do our tie-dye cake, the first thing you want to do is get different sandwich baggies. But if you already did the petal tips around the outside, you're gonna actually need a smaller tip for this. So I just put the one bag inside another bag, and then I cut a tiny little tip off the top. And then the first thing I do is I like to first sort of trace where I'm going to place my spirals. So I pick any point in the circle and I start on the edge, okay? And then I just trace and I get a little bit more towards the center as I go. And that's it. And then I take the first color, I always start with red, because I have to stay in order, and I will follow that spiral, but I'm not going to follow it perfectly. I'm going to follow it in a zigzag sort of a way. So I'm going to come along it, but I'm going to sort of go back and forth, and it doesn't have to be perfect. It can be, in fact, you don't want it to be perfect. You want some of the lines to be a little bit longer and shorter, and you're just going back and forth all over that line that you traced. Staying on the line, but also going off of the line, if that makes sense. On to the next color, and you'll go on the inside of that line and do the exact same thing. Again, I just started these bags, so they're not ready to go. Okay, here we go. Now with these, I don't draw another spiral, because I'm just gonna follow along the line of the first one. And again, I don't want it to be neat and perfect. I kind of want it to overlap a little bit with the red, all over. But you really can't do this wrong. Every time I make this cake, it looks a little bit different. That's what tie-dye is. That's what's fun about tie-dye. Let's get on to some yellow now. Same thing. I'm gonna keep moving out a little bit on the outside of the circle, outside of the cake. And you just keep going around. This one's much quicker than the petal method, as you can see. Now the green, we could try some blue. Again, coming out further on the circle. Try and squeeze a little blue in there. Okay, I got all but purple, that's not so bad. All right, so now I'm going to repeat the colors. So red, orange, yellow, green, blue. I'll come out here with my blue on the outside of the red now and come around the cake. The outside, again, zigzagging. Does anyone else watch cake decorating videos on Facebook? Let's find them therapeutic. Is that just me? Okay. Okay, there we go. Now we're going to do green. because that comes next in the order. We went backwards. I know, I struggle with that too, but it's green. And come around, messy, tie-dye. I prefer this kind of tie-dye with my kids over the real tie-dye. It's always a mess and a disaster. This, at least the mess is contained to my kitchen and some bags. Okay, red, orange, yellow, blue, green, yellow. Okay, so I'm gonna just finish up. It looks like, so what you're gonna do is just sort of look and see where do I have room, and I see starting right about here, I get some room for some more. So I'm just gonna squeeze in some yellow here. Yellow. Oh yeah, that worked out great. Okay, so that's the base. Now, remember this that we used at the beginning to draw the spiral? We're now going to use it to make this look tie-dye-y. Okay, so you're just gonna take it and you'll just start in the center and pull out, but also a little bit loopy, not just straight out. So pull and wipe it in between and pull and pull. Now you gotta come in between those, but down a little bit, not in the center, and do the same thing. Pull. Oh, I pulled that right off. Pull. Pull. You really do wanna, again, make sure you wipe in between each time, otherwise you're gonna drag all the colors together and get brown, and that is not what we're looking for. Pull. Pull again here. I'll just sort of look if there's any gaps where I could fit like a couple extra little ones in. Don't get too crazy though. You still want it to have some of the ripply effect. I'm gonna do one here. Just whenever you feel like it looks like the tie-dye look that you want it to look, you're done. You just decide how much you want to have swirled. I might add a little bit there, a little there. And that is a tie-dye cake, which is super fun for the summer. I hope that these cakes brought you the same kind of joy that they bring me to make. The colors, I hope that they inspired you to do something for someone else to make a difference in their lives. And I really appreciate you watching. Thank you again to Middletown Free Library for hosting this event. It was a lot of fun and I can't wait to see what I learned today.